And we're back at Teacher K French on YouTube. And today we're going to start with some quick division drills. And we have 21 divided by 3. 7. Very good. Here we see if we can speed up. We have 14 divided by 2. 7. 42 divided by 7. 6. 12 divided by 6. 2. 22 divided by 2, 11. 27 divided by 3, 9. 10 divided by 5, 2. 54 divided by 6, 9. 16 divided by 2, 8. And 12 divided by 4, 3. Good job. Alright, we're going to do some quick review of our measurements that we did. We said 1 foot is how many inches? 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. We said 1 mile. Notice this is feet. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Again, 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Alright, we have 1 yard. How many inches is in 1 yard? Remember, a yard is 3 rulers stuck end to end to make a yardstick. And that is 12 times 3, so that gives us 36 inches. 1 yard is 36 inches. 1 mile is, this is yards this time, so pay attention to what it wants us to go to. Last time was feet, this time is yards. 1 mile is 1,760 yards. Then we have 1 yard is how many feet? 1 yard is 3 feet. Again, a yardstick is 3 rulers stuck end to end, gives us 3 feet. Now we're going to do a quick, I'm going to introduce some dry and wet measurements for you. If we have 1 pint would be 2 cups. Say that with me. 1 pint equals 2 cups. Again, 1 pint equals 2 cups. Then we have 1 quart. Well, if 1 quart will equal 2 pints. So when we have 2 pints, we then have 1 quart. So we have, then we take our quarts, and this is where we put into gallons, and we have 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Sorry, let's say that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So when you get your gallon of milk out of the refrigerator this morning or this afternoon, you can say, hey, this gallon jug holds 4 quarts. All right, then if you've getting your measuring sticks or your measuring spoons out, you have 1 tablespoon. That's the big spoon, and the 1 tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons. So 3 small little ones with the 3 small teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. Definitely want to be careful with the tablespoons and the teaspoons when you're making cookies, because if you would put 1 tablespoon of salt in it instead of 1 teaspoon of salt, you're going to have some very salty cookies and probably won't be able to eat them. So that's why it's important to know our measurements. So we have 1 tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons. Then we have a cup. Your cup that you poured your milk today, 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. Here we have 1 pint. 1 pint, remember, is 2 cups, and 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces, but because a pint is 2 cups, this is going to be 8 times 2, it's going to give us 16 fluid ounces. So 1 pint is going to be 16 fluid ounces. And then if you were to go to the farmer's market, or you go out to your garden, you pick your vegetables, your green beans, and your potatoes, you might put them in pecks or bushels. We have 1 peck, which equals 8 quarts. 1 peck equals 8 quarts. Then you have bushel baskets, and 1 bushel is 4 pecks. 1 bushel would be 4 pecks. We're going to do a quick review on our rounding that we did in the last lesson. Notice I set it up in a chart. I have our numbers over here in this column. We're going to round to the thousands place in this column, the hundreds place in this column, and the tens place in this column. So we will start with the thousands. We will start with 32,596. First, I need to find the thousands place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. That 2 is in the thousands. I look next door. That 5 tells me I go to the sky. So I would round this to 33,000. All right, now I want to round this same number to the hundreds place. Well, let's find the hundreds place now. Ones, tens, hundreds. The 5 is in the hundreds, so I'm going to look next door, and that 9 tells me I'm going to have 600. But I'm not rounding the 32 this time, so it's 32,600. I didn't round this part. Remember, so this one just simply said round to the hundreds place. Now we're going to the tens place, which is ones, tens. So this 96 is going to have to round up to 100. So this is going to actually be the same answer, 32,600, because this would go up to 600. All right. Now, let's go down to here, this number, 57,263, and again, we'll round it to the thousands place. We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. The 7 is in the thousands, and then we look at next door, and we have the 2, so we stay on the floor. So we have 57,000. This column to the hundreds, the 2 is in the hundreds, so I look next door. I will have 57,300. Very good. And to the tens place, this 6 is in the tens place. I look next door. That's going to go to 60 because the 3 says stay on the floor. But I have 57,260. This time I only rounded this part. Today I'm going to show you a checking procedure called casting out nines. I will show you how to do it with addition, with multiplication, and division. We're going to learn how to cast out nines as a checking mechanism to our answers. Okay, I put an addition problem, a multiplication problem, and a division problem on the board. First, we have to solve each one. And then to check them, we're going to do what's called casting out nines. Now, I don't expect you to get this on the first try, but it is something good to try and to look at, and the concept of it if you want to check your work in a faster manner. All right, so first let's do the addition problem. We have all these add-ins. We need to find the sum first. So we have the 3 plus 6, which is 9, and we have another 9 and another 9. If I know 9 times 3 is 27, I know 9 plus 9 is 18, plus another 9 is 27. Put a 7, carry a 2. Then I have 10, 16, 17. So my sum is 177. And the way I can check this to see if I did this right, I can cast out numbers that are 9 or equivalent to 9. All right. In this first one, I don't have anything that equals 9, but I have an 8 and a 3. And if I would add 8 and 3 together, I get 11, but we have to keep things under 9. So that ends up being 1 plus 1, which gives me 2. Here I have 2 and 6, and I can add that together. That gives me an 8. I can add 4 and 9 together. That gives me 13, but again, we have to keep it under 9, so that ends up being 1 plus 3, gives me 4. Here I have a 9, so I'm going to mark it out, and I leave up with 1. Now I can go through here and see if I have anything that equals a 9. Well, if I take this 1 and this 8, I have a 9, so I can mark those out. So now I know my total here is going to be a 6. Now I come down here and do the same thing to my sum. All right, I have a 1, a 7, and a 7. Nothing that equals 9, but I can add these together. I have 14. That gives me 15. All right, and again, we have to keep it under 9, so this ends up being 1 plus 5, which equals 6. And because I got a 6 here and a 6 here, I did my addition correctly. Again, it's just a little unique concept that you can try. It's very helpful in division for sure. All right, well, let's check the multiplication one with casting out nines. 251 times 78. Again, I have to first solve it. And I need to just focus on this 8 first. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Put a 0, carry a 4. 16 plus 4 gives me 20. Now again, I'm going to the next column, so I put a space holder. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus the 3 gives me 17. I need to add these up. I get 8, 7, 5, 9, 1. Now, I need to look to see if anything here equals 9. I have a 2, a 5, and a 1. If I add them all up together, I get an 8. Here I have 7 and 8, and I get 15, which then will give me a 6. Alright, now I come down here, and I have this 9 I can mark out of my answer. And then if I have this 1 and this 8, I can mark out of my answer. Here I have a 5 and a 7. That gives me a 12, which is going to give me a 3. Alright, so here, because this is multiplication, this is 8 times 6. We know 8 times 6 is 48. Again, we've got to keep our numbers under 9, but if I add 4 and 8, I get 12. Then if I add 1 plus 2, I get 3. And because I have a 3 and a 3, I did my multiplication correctly. Now I'm going to erase this a little bit to give us a little bit more room for this division problem so we don't have all these numbers. Again, this is not a concept I expect you to get right away, but it is something that is good to kind of look at in advance. Alright, here we have a dividend of 13,476. We're going to divide it by 6, which is our divisor. Again, we needed to use divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Alright, so we'll start with 13 divided by 6. That's right, it'd be 2. That gives me 12. Subtract, I get 1. I bring down, I get a 4. Well, we'll use 2 again because 2 times 6 was 12. And we'll subtract, we get a 2. And we get a 7. This time we have 6 times 4 gives me 24. We'll subtract again, we'll get a 3. We'll bring down this 6. Notice when I do division, I'll try to keep my lines nice and neat and remember which number I'm on in column. Again, neatness and following procedures is extremely important in math. Alright, so we have now 36 divided by 6, which is going to give me 6. And this will give me 36 as a 0, and then subtract a 0. Again, we look to see if we have anything that will equal 9.
No.
Alright, so here we have a 6, so we're going to leave that as a 6. Here, do we have anything that equals 9? We have a 2 and 2, so we would have to add these up. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8, plus 6, so we have 8 plus 6, which should give us 14. Alright, but then this is going to be 1 plus 4, which is going to give us 5. Now I come down here to see if there's anything that equals 9. Well, if I mark out this 6 and this 3, that equals 9. But then I have 4 plus 1 is 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 is going to give me a 3. So now because this is division, this times that, my quotient times my divisor should equal my dividend. So 5, this will be 6 times 5, which equals 30, again under 9. So 3 plus 0 would give me 3. 3 equals 3. So I casted out my 9s on my division. Again, it will become very helpful to learn for the division problems in particular. Again, it's a concept that takes some time, takes some thinking and some practice. But again, thank you for joining me today. Like this video, subscribe to Teacher K French on YouTube. I appreciate it. Have a great day.